Hey YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Mike's Mini Motors. So in this one we are working on Big Booty Trudy again, my Yamaha C3, and what we're going to be doing is getting rid of the stock exhaust. It's just kind of big and ugly and restrictive. Normally there is also like a beauty cover plastic piece that goes over this, but since this one was laid down and all sorts of stuff, it was all cracked and it looked really bad. So I ditched it, and now we're ditching this. And so I ended up ordering a exhaust for this thing from Japan. The brand was Wirus Win, I think is how you say it. But let me go ahead and grab the camera, and I'll show you guys exactly what we got, what we're putting on, and then we'll get right to it. Alright, so here's everything that comes in the Wirus Win exhaust kit. So first off, we got the header and muffler all in one. This is a bracket for the rear fender stay. And for now, I'm leaving the rear fender on this thing, and just because, but probably once I stretch it, it'll come off, so then this will be unneeded. And then this is the mount for top of the muffler here, which attaches to this guy. And then all the hardware, some stickers. And then even this is one of those little, it's a little aluminum badge that I might stick somewhere on the C3. And then a baffle that I won't be using. It did also come with instructions that are in Japanese, so if you can read Japanese, score. There are pictures, so we can probably figure it out. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get the old exhaust off so we can get this new shiny one on. Alright, so there's that big old honking exhaust, and this thing's definitely a lot heavier than this thing. This is way lighter, so that'll be nice weight savings too. So if you couldn't tell from the hyperlapse, the exhaust comes off fairly simply. There's the two 12mm that hold it onto the head, two 12s that hold it to the engine block here, and those ones are a little tight for me, so I had to really wrench on them, but once they came out they were good. And then there's the one bracket for the fender stay, and then it just falls right out. So now it's going to be the reverse, getting this put back on there. I'm going to take a look at these Japanese instructions and see what I can deduce from them. Alright, so here's the Japanese instruction manual I was talking about. But one tool I wanted to show you guys that I use especially a lot when I'm traveling for work is Google Translate can use the camera in your phone and translate stuff in real time. So see, I got it, translating Japanese to English, and it's doing it on the fly. And it's not going to be perfect translation, but better than you need to know a full language. So just thought I'd show you guys that. That's really cool. So I'm going to use that to read through this, see if there's anything special I need to know. So now that the old exhaust is off, we can start mounting up this one. And what I'm going to start with is this middle mounting point here on that guy, on the muffler. And it's just a little 12mm by, I think, 16 or something like that. So we'll get that one just started to get threaded in there, not tight. That way I can pivot while I'm doing this. And one thing is, it does come with all new hardware except for the head studs, or nuts. So I'm going to reuse those ones. So get this lined up. Alright, so I went ahead and tightened down the head stud bolts, and then this one here, because now it's rigidly mounted. So the next step we have is the fender stay, and that's got to go on first because on this end, see that big spacer actually spaces out the band clamp bar, or whatever you want to call it. So I'll get this bolted on. Okay, it's just going to be figure tight for now since I need to get this in place and all that, and then I'll tighten it in a second. So now you take the, I guess, 80mm long stud or bolt, and this one is a 13mm, so Put that guy on here. It goes through the spacer, the fender stay, and then your upper engine mount. Okay, again, this one will be loose too. I can get 10mm wrench. And now, one thing from the instructions that I found out is on the band, it comes with this aluminum spacer, so it's like 3 times the thickness of the washers, and it goes in the middle of the band like that. If that makes sense. There you can see it. And then it goes through the bar. Bam! We have new exhaust. And not only does it look a lot better, it weighs a ton less. Well, not literally a ton, but a lot less than that stock exhaust. It was very heavy and restrictive, so let's go ahead and start her up and see how she sounds. Oh yeah, that sounds much better. Hopefully that came across in the camera, or the audio, see how it sounds, but yeah, I like it a lot. So now let's go ahead, I'm going to take it off the lift, and first I'm going to check the weather. If the weather's nice enough, I'm going to take this thing for a rip and see how it sounds. Plus, the other thing I didn't mention is, since this thing's fuel injected, I'm hoping it will compensate for this exhaust since it flows more than the stock one, because I don't have a tuner yet. The tuner I'm going to buy is out of stock right now, so let's go test drive it. Alright, and there we have our JDM Wirus Win exhaust for the C3 installed. I'm in love with it already. I love the aesthetics of it. It's a huge weight savings over this thing because this was heavy and super ugly. So good riddance. And the exhaust tone, I really enjoyed it. Hopefully it sounds as good through the video as it did in person. A lot of times it doesn't work that way, but we'll find out. Yeah, so leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this thing. Like I said, I'm in love with it, and I'm just curious what you guys think. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. If you guys are liking this C3 build, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and the little notification bell. Because in the near future, I have that taillight I was already telling you about. I've got the lenses and the LED strips already. I just need to find the time to do it. And then after talking with my buddy Jeff, he said that the Honda Ruckus Get Engine Airbox Delete Kit will work on these here. So I'm going to pick one of those up as well to let this thing breathe a little better, so that, you know, better inlet and outlet, and the thing will breathe better. And then I also will be picking up a stretch kit for this thing. I'll be stretching it. And then when all the parts come in stock, I will be doing the big bore full shebang kit on this thing as well. So something to look forward to. On the Ruckus front, actually Brandon was here last night, and actually yesterday for most of the day, and we were working on, doesn't look like much right now, but this is going to be, there we go, a GY6 engine stand. I'd seen some of the ones that you can buy out there, and I wanted to make some improvements on it, beef it up. So we're making this for ourselves right now. And who knows, maybe it'll become a product if we like it. So with that, Brandon and I are both going to be doing our 171cc kits here real soon, and we're both doing rear disc brakes. So a lot of big things coming up, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And with that, I'm out of here. See you guys later.